You think you need to be happy, but I tell you, with all the authority that pain has given me, you don't need happiness. You need meaning. Happiness, when pursued as a goal, is like a shadow. You chase it, and it slips away. You chase it. It appears, paradoxically, only when you stop chasing it. You can have money, status, freedom. But if your soul is empty, all of it becomes a burden. I learned this truth behind bars, surrounded by men who no longer remembered their names, in places where human dignity was crushed, systematically. And there, in the dust and in the silence broken only by screams, I witnessed a miracle. The miracle of the human soul. A miracle in those who, even stripped of everything, still carried within them a purpose. Do you know yours? I'm not talking about a romantic dream. I'm talking about a reason to rise in the morning. Something that, even when everything collapses, still gives you strength to go on. Something that endures pain. That survives time. That defies despair. There's something inside you, asleep, waiting to be called into existence. But as long as you chase happiness like an anesthetic, this essential part will never awaken. The modern world promises you comfort, but it never gives you meaning. It offers instant pleasure, but denies depth. And that's why we live surrounded by distractions, and so few of us find peace. Look around. People confuse being busy with being alive. They confuse pleasure with purpose, success with meaning. But in the silence of the night, when the noise fades, the soul cannot be fooled. It always knows what's missing. And what's missing is rarely something you can buy. It's something that requires courage, a why. In the concentration camp, I saw men share their last piece of bread, not because they had to, but because they still believed that, even in horror, dignity was a choice. That is what I mean when I say, human beings can find meaning, even in pain, especially in pain. Suffering for the sake of suffering is destruction, but suffering with a purpose is transformation. Have you ever noticed how often you run from pain? Into distractions, into addictions, into empty relationships, just so you wouldn't have to hear what your soul has been trying to say? Pain is not your enemy. It's a messenger. It carries questions you've been avoiding. And until you face those questions, nothing outside you will ever be enough. The great question is not, how do I avoid suffering? But rather, how do I turn suffering into meaning? Listen carefully. I'm not romanticizing pain, but I am telling you this. Running from it is not living. It's delaying the inevitable. Runs, delaying the inevitable, and often making the emptiness worse. What I'm inviting you to do is look at your life and ask yourself, what in me is deeper than the pain? Because that thing, it exists. It's already there, but it asks for silence. It asks for stillness. It asks for time. Time that modern life never seems to give. Society celebrates productivity, but forgets purpose. It teaches you how to do, but not how to be. So you run from yourself, from guilt, from longing, from frustration. And in doing so, you run further and further from what really matters. But today, right now, you can stop. You can breathe, and maybe for the first time, hear what your soul is saying. You don't need another course, or a new goal, or another vacation. You need a why, something that makes every pain, every mistake, every failure worth it. And that why, you don't have to invent it. It's already in you. It lives in your traumas, in your losses, in the people you loved and lost, in the wounds you hide. Each scar is a signpost, pointing to the place where your meaning might be born. I didn't survive because I was stronger. I survived because I discovered something. Even in hell, I could still choose. Choose what it meant to be alive. Choose what it meant to be human. And no one could take that from me. Today your hell may look different. Maybe it's anxiety, or the loneliness you try to hide. That sense of being lost, even when surrounded by people. But hear this, you are not alone. You are simply being called to a deeper level of awareness. The pain you feel, it's the beginning of a new way of seeing. And this new gaze, It's not naive. It doesn't expect everything to be fine, but it does choose to make something out of what went wrong. Meaning is not a simple answer. It is a commitment to something larger than yourself. Maybe it's a child, maybe it's a cause, a gift, or just a desire to leave the world a little less dark than you found it. That commitment is what gives you ground. It's what turns ordinary days into sacred ones. It's what gives pain a place, and joy a reason. Have you asked yourself, why am I really here? Not as a distant philosophical thought, but as a burning question inside you. Don't settle for the automatic life. Don't accept emotional numbness as stability. You deserve more than that. You need more than that. You need to know that every morning can be sacred. That every choice can be an altar. And in every gesture, no matter how small, can hold eternity. If it's done with meaning. The meaning of life is not hidden in a sacred book or a mystical revelation. It's here, now. In what you choose to do with what you've been given. Even if it's small, even if it hurts, human beings are the only creatures who can find meaning in the absurd. And when we do, no outside force can ever fully control us again. Yes, you can lose everything. Yes, you can lose everything. But if you don't lose your why, you're still standing. And sometimes it's only when you lose everything that your true purpose finally reveals itself. There is a strength in you that hasn't been awakened yet, and it only stirs when you stop asking, how can I be happy? And start asking, how can I serve? What can I offer? What can I transform? These questions, they're keys. They open doors within you that you didn't even know existed. And once opened, you never go back. Yes, life will still be hard. But now, you'll have a compass. And with that compass, even the desert becomes a path. Don't seek a life without pain. Seek a life with meaning. Don't wish for an easy journey. Wish for a destination that's worth it. And if you've suffered deeply, know this, it wasn't in vain. Nothing is when it's transformed. You can use your pain as fuel, as a bridge, as a seed. Don't run from it. Look it in the eye and ask, what did you come to teach me? That is the posture of someone who turns pain into wisdom, who turns life into mission. And if you accept this invitation, you won't just be existing. You won't just be existing. Because here, we're not chasing fleeting happiness. We're searching for meaning. And that journey is always deeper when shared with good company.